Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone while I learn this truth. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect out there scattered abroad, pushing this truth on the four corners of the earth, risking lives and freedom to do so. It's the brother Tazamak coming back with a quick lesson. I'm going to call this lesson The Widow in Zarephath. Okay? And I'm going to be going into an account of Elijah. Okay? I'm going to be going into famine. Okay? Because the Lord was providing for him miraculous things. Okay? While he was on the run from Jezebel and King Ahab. Okay, the Lord was providing miraculous things, spiritual power. Okay, fire coming down from heaven, food. Okay, when they were going through a drought. All right, there was various things going on. The Lord said it wouldn't rain until He spoke it, through Elijah. Okay, and that's exactly what took place, and that's what angered them. And when they were angered, and Elijah had to go on the run. Also, he had killed the prophets of Baal, so that angered him. And I'm gonna get into the account, and I'm gonna get some precepts as I'm going along the way. But this is a faith booster, because we know that through accounts like this, that our forefathers went through, that the Lord is going to be there for us, that the Lord is going to protect us, man. Okay, because it's going to be a time where nobody has food, okay, except us. And it's going to happen miraculously. It's not going to be like the Lord going to cut the light on at El Pollo Loco and hook something up. It's going to happen miraculously. It's going to be like it came out of nowhere. Okay, but we know it's going to happen because we have the faith. Everybody else is going to be hopeless. Okay, just like the widow was hopeless. Okay, but the Lord put that faith in her. Okay, to trust Elijah. And I'm going to get the account like I was saying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get some precepts. The Lord's will, this is an edifying lesson. And I'm going to go ahead and start off in the book of Romans. Okay. One of my favorite scriptures, Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Yeah, an account like I just brought up. That's a heavy faith booster. Okay, the Maccabee brothers, the Assyrians, heavy faith booster. They had Antiochus against them during the Hellenization. It took major faith, man. Just like we're going to have Esau, these devils are still back. Okay, just like we're going to have Esau against us, and we're going to have to stand up, and the Lord's going to put the Spirit on us to be able to do that. Okay, the Lord might say, go travel in the Mojave Desert, which I've been passed through a number of times at work, but go walk through the Mojave Desert till I give you the word to stop. Okay, and then when I give you the word to stop, a plate of food is going to be there, not just for you, but for all the Akim. You have to believe that. You can't be like, well, damn, that's a long walk. I can't see where it ends. That's not having faith, man. Okay? Confidence in the things we hope for, assurance in the things that we're not able to see. Nobody else has that. You can't buy faith. All right? And these accounts only boost them. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to the book of Kings. 1 Kings 19. And I'm going to start at verse... I'm going to start at verse 2. This is 1 Kings 17. Slocky. I'm starting at 17. This is 1 Kings 17 and 2. Okay. It says, and the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, and it is before Jordan. And it should be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. He was talking to Elijah, okay, saying that I'm gonna provide for you food and food and water. Okay, it says, and it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook. You see, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. Okay, somebody that don't have faith will not believe this. They're gonna be like, hell no, you mean to tell me some ravens? Yes, you gotta have faith to believe it. Verse 5, 1 Kings 17:5. So he went and did according unto the word of Yahweh. See, he was obedient. He listened to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh, bread and meat, in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. And he drank of the brook. So the Lord kept him sustained. Okay, gave him a meal in the morning and the evening. Okay, and it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up because it had been no rain in the land. It was a drought because Elijah had spoken on it. Okay, they thought Baal controlled the weather, and he's like, nah, the Lord controls the weather. It's not going to rain again until the word comes from his mouth. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua was speaking to Elijah. Okay, so they were dealing with that drought. And it says, verse 8, 1 Kings 17:8, and the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belonged to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. Okay, imagine. Okay, you have to have faith to believe this. You can't read it for face value. Imagine the Lord telling one of these moms that their husband died. Okay, hey, I got one of my men coming over there. They're gonna be like, hell no, right? That's how you know the Lord controls the minds of everybody. The Lord put the spirit on her to be obedient. Okay, you can't think carnally, man. A woman would never do that. A widow, what you mean? Nah, he believed. Elijah had major faith. Okay, and it says, verse 9, I'm going to get it again. 1 Kings 17:9. Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering a stick. See, the Lord is a man of his word. See how things are playing out. And he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. Okay, so bread and water. Verse 12, and she said, as Yahweh thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. Okay, so she was saying she didn't have that much food. Basically, her and her son was going to eat the last of it, and they was going to die of starvation. She didn't have hope. She didn't have faith. Okay? But on the other hand, the Lord built Elijah up. Elijah had faith. Verse 13. And Elijah said unto her, fear not. You see, that's faith. I got it. The Lord got this. Go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus said Yahweh, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that Yahweh sendeth rain upon the earth. So the Lord was saying, basically, you do this for my men. He was speaking to Elijah. You do this for my men. I'm going to make sure you guys don't go hungry, okay? And you guys are going to be fed, all right, until the rain come back, till the drought is over, okay? The average person, again, is not going to believe that. She believed Elijah. She had faith in what he was saying. She believed in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay? And it says, verse 15, and she went and did according to the saying of Elijah. He and her house did eat many days. You see? And the barrel of meal was wasted not, neither did the curse of oil fail, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spake by Elijah. So the Lord speaks to his men. He spoke it through Elijah. Okay? And the Lord kept his word. They were straight. They weren't hungry. Okay? And again, it takes faith to do an action of that when it's you and your son's last meal. You know what I mean? How many niggas left? Because that's what they were. Niggas left the truth behind some shit like, I need to take a job so me and my kids can eat and I can never come back. Okay, if the Lord is telling you he's going to keep you sustained, the scriptures say that, roughly paraphrasing, put the Lord first and everything else should be added, meaning your daily needs. Put the Lord first and your daily needs are going to be taken care of. Okay, nothing should take you away from this truth. You have to trust the Lord. Okay, the Lord sends you a message, by way of his prophet, okay, or in a vision or a dream, take heed to it, man. Trust Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's what we are to do. Okay, and we are to give thanks to him. All right. This is 1 Kings 19:4. I'm gonna start at verse 2. 1 Kings 19:2, and I just got that first account to show you. The Lord made sure Elijah ate, okay, even when he was going through it. So this is 1 Kings 19:2. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me and more also, if I make not thy life as a life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. She was upset that Elijah had took out the prophets of Baal. Okay, so she said, by tomorrow, I'm gonna get you. Okay, the demon in her was just amplifying. All the women in Babylon got this demon, by the way, the Jezebel demon. Not all of them, but majority. Salakia, majority. Okay, on the vibration of the serpent. Okay, verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there. Okay, but he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness. Elijah was on the run. Okay, they was after him because King Ahab had told Jezebel everything that took place. And it says, and came sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, "It is enough now, O Yahweh, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers." Okay, Elijah was going through it. He was going through depression. He was going through exhaustion. He was going through being fed up with trying to, get Jake to act right, and he was still acting like some niggas. Okay? And he was basically saying, like, I'm not better than my ancestors. All right? So the Lord's about to increase him, about to increase him. Look, listen. And it says, verse 5, 1 Kings 19:5. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals. Look at this miracle, man. Okay, he in the middle of nowhere. The Lord wanted him in isolation. All right? And a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink and laid him down again. See, the Lord provided a meal for him. Let's look at verse 7. And the angel of Yahweh came again the second time and touched him and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. Okay? So the Lord was trying to make sure he was sustained for the journey. All right? You niggas out here is going to die. Y'all going to die. Verse 8. And he arose and did eat and drink and went in strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the Mount of Yahweh, Mount Sinai. Okay? But what food you ate that kept you sustained that long? Okay? You can't buy that. That's superfood. That's divine food coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right? And spiritually, we live off this word. Okay? This is what's going to keep us stable. But the Lord's going to give us physical food as well. All right? So, Elijah, the Lord gave Elijah what he needed to go on his journey to Mount Sinai. Okay? And the Lord gave him a message there as well. Okay? Boost his faith. So I'm going to get this in Isaiah. (65:13), starting at 13. Isaiah 65, starting at verse 13. Therefore, thus said Yahweh power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. You know how many people was thirsty in that land? Okay, for the idol worship, for the wickedness that they were doing, for bowing down their knee to another god. A lot of people died. A lot of people didn't get what Elijah was getting. Okay, Elijah was extremely blessed. He was a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, just like we're going to be fed now, and everybody else is going to be hungry as shit. Okay? And it says, but ye should be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye should be ashamed. Okay? They're going to be going through it, boy. And we're going to be rejoicing because we know our salvation is going to be nigh. Okay, just like we know now, by way of prophecy. Verse 14. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry of sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Y'all going to be getting judged. Okay, we going to be all right. Okay? Y'all going to be mad, sad, like, God damn, I can't catch the break. Like it talks about in the book of Amos. You put your hand on the wall, a serpent bite you. Okay? That's the type of things that's going to be taking place. Yeah, we're going to be okay. The Lord said his servants is going to eat. I just got 2 accounts right there. Okay? You guys is going to be in a shitty situation. We're going to be all right. All right? I'm about to close with this. In the book of Proverbs 10:3. Yahweh will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish. And I got the accounts. Elijah was a righteous man. Did he suffer him to famish? No, he was taken care of. Okay? But he casted away the substance of the wicked. You guys aren't going to be sustained in hard times. You guys is going to be wiped out. If it's not the famine, another plague is going to get you. Okay, but the Lord is not going to keep you guys sustained. All right, you guys are going to be like ants scrambling out here. We're going to be more calm, collected, and more stable because of this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and because we trusted in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, even leading to physically delivering us food, however the Lord does it. Just like when the Lord delivered that, I think it was a pot of stew that Habakkuk was cooking to Daniel in the lion's den, man. Teleported him with an angel. Okay? Those type of things are going to be taking place, not tomorrow. I slip at the tongue, but in this time. That's what I'm going to say, in this time. Okay? And it's going to take faith to believe that, but as you can see, the Lord is never going to leave our side and is never going to let us down. Lord's will, that was an edifying lesson. With that, I'm going to say shalom.